All right, we're back. Friday Night Pints, first of 2021, first one of the new year. We got a big-time panel for you here today. Grinnell just strolled in the office, just like, oh, I'm here. So we jumped in for a little bit. Today's episode is brought to you by 3Chi.
At the gym.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen somebody do it. And, like, that's one of those exercises, I'm sure it's good for your neck is if you play, like, combat sports or whatever.
Yeah, you're a ram.
But, like, there's no way I'm ever strapping anything to my head in the gym.
I would venture to guess it's one of the first machines I ever used in the gym. I went to, like, a real meathead.
Such a fucking meathead.
I was like a real meathead gym. And I just, like, it's an empty warehouse.
I think you had to wait to get into it, too. Like, can I work in? Can I work in on the
No, and seeing some fucking big guy with this fucking, and he was using it, and I was like, that's the first thing right there. And I don't ever touch it again.
How about the people who get that thing where you go like this to get rid of your double chin? You ever use one of those?
Well,
it's like those things don't work. It's like a.
Well, I understand how it works physically.
It does not work.
It does not work this way.
You cannot get rid of this unless you get fucking.
You know what I get? Olivia
that's
Culpo fucking promotes it all the time. It's like Nurse Janice or something like that on Instagram, and it's all kinds of stuff. It's supposed to just swipe the fat down.
Yeah.
Weird.
Well,
I like that.
just swipe it down, just push it.
You just like keep swiping it until you get some fat ass feet.
It's like, I don't have a double chin anymore, I just got cankles.
Yeah.
I just puts it all
Dude,
in.
I'm gonna swipe all my neck down into my dick.
Yeah, just like stop right at my piece. And just fucking
Well, we were supposed to, I thought it was going to be a perfect fit with the 3Chi. We were supposed to have, because we got high on, but Brianna was out. Rhea had, I'm assuming, some problems with her dog's dick. And she's at the vet. She's like, I'll spare you the details. I'm like, just fix the dog's dick. Whatever's going on. Chop it over you got it. That thing is a disaster.
Probably is not that.
Has it been neutered yet?
Yes.
Yes,
it's
but
a
the
whole
dick
thing.
is still hanging,
Today I
man.
don't think it was a dick-related issue, but
Okay,
you know, but
all right,
who
good.
knows?
But
Who knows?
Kelly's still here to represent
I'm
for the
still
gang.
here.
So,
Here I am.
episode 1 dropped this week. Anxiety, alcohol, and asses.
Yes.
Next week will be B.
These, I gotta double check because we were going
And
around.
then-
I won't say it because I'm
and
rolling
then-
now.
Blunts, butts.
I know it's
everything is
not butts. It's blunts, bitches.
You said you were gonna say it.
I know, but I can't think of the last
forgot.
one.
Bieber.
We have too many going on, so I don't want
And
to
then
say
what happens
before
when we
we
get to Z? We
finish
start
it.
over, or are we going to just
Yeah,
switch the...
start over.
Oh,
I-
okay. I like
I have
that.
a list in my phone, like a running notes thing. We just, whenever we think of a topic, we just write it down. So it's all letters everywhere, and we just organize
What are
them.
you gonna do with X? You have to think in
X is
advance
tough.
what X is gonna be.
We already have X.
X-rated.
Xylophone.
Xylophone
What's a
is-
xenophobe?
Yes,
X-rated.
xylophone.
Yeah, xylophone, xenophobia. and,
XXX
Let me
movies.
see if I can
X-rated.
find it.
Oh yeah, X-rated.
What
It
is
is
a
funny.
xenophobe?
It's you
When you're
hate
afraid
people
of
from other countries.
foreigners.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's
Very
not.
appropriate word.
Xenophobia
I
is not a
can't
good
tell
thing.
you.
Oh, I didn't know
I
that.
want to
can't
tell you
tell
what
me,
it
it's a
is, but I
surprise.
can't tell you what it
Let me
is.
look
But it's a
at
good
I think one of
episode.
the
Look
aliens
at X.
in one of the alien movies is like a Xena something.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Oh, and
but I don't
Xenon
wanna
Girl
tell you.
21st Century.
No.
What do you mean? That was a great show.
That is, I mean, it's a great
movie.
show.
It's just
not
not
on
what's on the
It's
list.
not on our list. I can't tell you guys what it is.
How
but
did
it will be
episode
good.
1 go? I tuned in for a
Everyone
little
really-
bit. You guys
people
were
are
talking about
loving
fat
it.
asses and drinking. When did so you started drinking when you were?
I don't know,
Brianna was
14?
13.
Yeah, before I
Bree
think I was
started
14.
That's too early.
So she said she was like,
13
I
Now
don't-
we're
I don't
talking
get the
drinking, or you had a
She
sip.
She
was-
said the first
she
time
was
she was fucked up.
blacking out
She said she was like
at 13.
looking at like the movie, like the TV screen.
I was
and
like
whoa,
stealing
whoa.
wine at 13, but
Yeah,
not
was
like.
that?
I think I might have had a Mike's harder.
Very
at
on
13,
brand
but
for
I
her,
wasn't.
though.
I wasn't regularly
I-
drinking
I
until
definitely-
probably 15, 16.
Same. I
Yeah,
was
same.
16. I was
21.
But she also, she was saying, I think she was a little bit young for her age. She was like going into high school, turning like 13 to 14
like a-
instead of
yeah, like
14
young
to
for
15.
grade or whatever,
So if
yeah.
I was, it was kind of high school for me. So whatever age you were going into high school, but
She was corrupted by 8th graders early. That's
Yeah.
what I'm hearing. Like
Dude,
when you're a young 7th grader and you're like teamed up with an old 8th grader, that's the biggest
the
age.
difference
that
between
is
an old
huge.
8th grader and a young, you can be like a baby. You could like believe
Yeah.
in Santa Claus and you're still like, you know,
Yeah.
hanging out with your parents. And then there are kids who are like fucking and drinking.
They were
With
kidding.
eighth
At
grader.
my middle school, they were like, you could see out the window where 8th graders would go, and they would just step off the property. So say like the middle school property and here, they would stand right there. Like they weren't
Ripping
trying to hide,
cigs.
and they just fucking
Yeah.
rip cigs. They'd be like, the teachers would be like, oh, look at Justin skipping class again. I'm like, well, go get him.
It's not like the Mexican border. Like we have no jurisdiction there. We can't do anything about it.
Go grab him and bring him back into class.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. I remember, that probably right around that age difference. I remember, like, just getting left in the dust by people. I was like, I remember being like, yo, like, did you kiss that girl yet? And he was like, she sucked my dick, dude. And I was like, yeah, totally, man. I've totally gotten that out of me before. Yeah.
I remember
Were you late though too? Were you like a late puberty dude?
I probably like had my first kiss when I was in like 8th grade, and then
Same.
didn't like, I didn't like get anything I went.
Did
like,
you look
0
little
to
though?
60.
Like I looked like a baby till I was like 18.
Yeah, I can see. I don't think I looked. I think I was probably pretty standard, but I just didn't have much success. But then, like, I got a girlfriend, and she just like
Opens up
R
everything.
worded
there.
me, and I was just like, I went 0 to 100. So
Yeah.
I was late, and then I played catch up. But
When you're late, the lies you tell are. I mean, I would tell every lie in the imaginable. I remember I was one time.
you were 40-year-old virgin bags his hand. You really were. Yeah.
I was like in the hockey shower like my freshman year, being like, guys, like I'm fucking for like 45 minutes. Is that not long enough? And they're like, everyone's like, no, it's about standard.
That's
like, you're all
foreplay,
virgins
dude.
too.
I remember so vividly once. This is how old I am. We were like talking to girls. You know when you could have like you could pick up like the house phone upstairs and downstairs. You had like multiple people on the phone. So it was like two guys on the phone who called 2 girls on the phone, and everybody was talking about like who's done what in terms of like the bases, you know. And this one girl, like I don't even remember what I said, but I clearly was saying shit like that. And she was like, "You're in the dugout, bro." And I remember being like, and if you weren't in the dugout, you would just be like, "No, I kissed Kelly." Like, no. And I was just like, "No, I'm totally not in the dugout." So I totally hit a double. Like, dude,
I've never heard that in the sense of like what bases. I've never heard you in the dugout. Is that a regular thing, or is that just she's quite witty?
I don't know. She's the only one I ever who said it. Maya said
just
it
a
to me,
great
and I
bully.
remember I turned bright red, and I still think about it. I'm 36. And I still think about the time that girl roasted me when I was like
the
13.
Idea of, like your best friend is downstairs in the kitchen, and like your parents are like walking to the fridge, like getting a beer out, and your buddy's down there. He's like, "Yeah, I totally fingered her." It was pretty Are you guys gonna be here for a while?
Yeah, that's a world that is gone now. Like there's not gonna be. That's never gonna happen again.
There's no boundaries left to conquer. Yeah.
Do you remember how awkward it would be like to call a girl's house and have like her parents pick up and be like, "Hi, is Lauren there?" And her fucking dad's like, "Hang on, you little pervert."
It was equally as embarrassing, like as the girl though. Like
Getting called on?
if the phone rang, I think that's when
running to
I
get
thought
it?
you just fell down just now.
Stroke.
Listen, stop moving so fast. Yeah, it'd
Kelly's
be
had
like
the 3
that.
cheer already.
Yeah. I would like
Buffering.
get up and sprint to the fucking phone because if I heard my dad answering the phone, I'd
And
be
you
like,
knew you were like,
please don't let
supposed
it
to
be
be
for me.
getting a
Don't let it be for
call.
me.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. I
anybody
mean,
else. Yeah, same thing.
And now you
Because my
probably have
parents
a
like
cell
to bust
phone.
balls.
You probably have a cell phone when you're definitely by that age.
I was
and it's just
fifth
like,
grade.
well, we'll just start
You were
texting.
5th grade with a
I was-
phone?
Yeah,
I
because
was-
9/11 happened, so my parents got me a cell phone.
I broke my
I was
wrist.
Wow.
Because that was gonna prevent.
I was like,
I'm in the tower.
I also lived in like the suburbs of New Jersey. Like my dad like worked near the city, but not in it, and I was in the suburbs. And I got a
You give
Nokia.
Kelly happy birthday. If
I
you see
played
something,
Snake.
say something.
I played Snake on my phone for 4 years, like until I needed
Kelly
it.
has a
Nobody else
razor.
had
Good
one.
luck,
No one else had
Taliban.
one.
Terrorism might happen to you, so just in case, here's something that you can give to all your boyfriends out there. Like,
You ever heard of the Patriot Act? Do your part.
Exactly.
And what, you break your wrist, so it's like, wow, you've got to be able to call.
I busted my
if you're-
wrist, and my
Yeah.
parents were like, "You're getting a cell phone." I was like, "Worth it."
I feel like now, I mean, they make cell phones now that are like pre-programmed, like 3 numbers. So you can just push like 1 for
yeah.
dad, 2 for mom, 1 for 911.
Like Firefly or something.
When are you
Yeah.
approving it? When are you approving it for your
Well,
daughter?
that's, I don't know. I mean, like I mean, especially now that like we're divorced, like they'll be in the house with me alone. I don't know. So if I fall and fucking smash my head or something, it's like, I don't know. They don't know. They would, you know what I mean? Like, what would they do?
Your dad, yeah.
So I started thinking stupid. Yeah, I'd be a bad dad. I'd be fucking drunk
your
and
dad
falling
is-
over. What?
You're dead out.
Oh, I'm dead. Yeah, right. So like,
Yeah.
I thought
makes you
about
a bad
getting
dad.
it.
Bad dad.
A dead dad. Yeah.
I thought about getting it like now. I don't know, but like it wouldn't carry it everywhere. But maybe like I put it, you know, somewhere in the house. So
I
they
feel
can
like
grab
so
it.
like button 1 calls 1 person, button 2.
Yeah.
See, I feel like I get so many butt dials. I just like start ignoring my kids. I'm like, shit.
It's just
Shady
Shady
another
an
butt
idiot
dial.
again.
Never mind.
The house is burning down. But I feel like aside from that nonsense, what do you
Actually,
think?
yeah, I think so.
It'd be
We
very
have a
funny to
island
give
here.
like a 2 or 3 year old a phone with those 3 preset
take one
things,
as well.
and you just get calls from your kid being like Kalu's on TV.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Very good. Very good. Yeah.
I used to call my
He's in a
mom
hot air
all the
balloon,
time.
Dad. Okay, yeah. Very
I'm
good.
running into that issue with cousins now who are young enough to have their phones, and then they get my number because
call you.
of their relatives. And no, they don't do the calling. I'm a pro call. If they
Yeah.
called, I'd probably be okay with that. It's one time recently, probably in the last 3 weeks or so, we wrapped up a KFC Radio, and I got done, and I had 57 text messages.
From one person?
From one person.
Oh my god.
And it was like-
that's like who's dead?
It was
What's
like
wrong?
a 9-year-old cousin.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
That's like you gotta block that number or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
That's
you know?
better than a call, though.
Huh?
No,
That's
he
better
loves
than
calls.
I love
No,
calls.
he'd rather
With
call.
a 5-year-old?
Because that's
They can't do
fast.
small talk.
No, she's not 5. She's like, I don't. I have
Feitelberg
no
just
idea how
says
old she
if
is.
you're under 21, you're like 8.
Yeah,
Feitelberg.
because I 7.
Okay.
Yeah, 7.
I'm always a guy. I was about 7. But yeah, I would much because a call has a beginning and an end. Text
But
just
they
go
don't.
on
They
for
have
eternity.
no brains.
Yeah.
Small kids. They don't know the social structure of a phone. call.
I'll fucking teach them. You're not allowed to say, okay, goodbye. That's it.
I feel like the normal age would be 13.
Yeah,
I don't know,
That's
like
the most
that's fair.
seventh,
Eighth
eighth
grade was like
yeah.
when everybody
Right.
got their phones. Like, I
But
just
really,
was-
you are at this stage just being like, here's a device for like porn and like inappropriate relationships, and you know what I mean? Like you really are just here's the keys to like.
I think
being-
that's kind of our poison
like
vines.
bad decision.
Here's what I use a phone for.
What, you don't think the little fucking kids of Gen Z are doing that? You think they're like, well, I'm just going to use it for emergencies and the Wikipedia. No fucking way. By the time those kids get their hands on it, they're like, yo,
That's true.
let's
I think
go.
I think we got to get rid of the word emergency.
They're doing like
it's like when you got an
TikToks and
emergency
dogs
credit
and
card.
shit.
Not the word emergency, but the way it's used in those things. Like this credit card's for emergencies
Yeah,
only. Like,
yeah.
Well, I really want to take this girl in.
Right, it's an emergency, Dad. I got to do it now.
I
Yeah.
got fucked
Stronger
with that.
word.
I got an emergency credit card in college.
Yeah.
And I
rang
used
it
it
up?
for a ton of non-emergencies.
Yeah.
And they were just like, okay, we're transferring this to you. And then I
Your
just
parents?
had horrible debt for a while.
That's actually very good parenting.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
buy for a while. You mean
gotta
up
fix
until right
this.
now,
Like,
probably,
up
right?
until about 3 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's. I guess that is the way to parent, right?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't have any kids, so I can
No,
say whatever I
either.
want with no consequences.
I never
Yeah.
like that's what's so weird about parenting. It's like I don't know, and every like book I ever read about it does not help.
Yeah.
They're all like way too unrealistic. That it's like, well, no, that's not gonna work. I know that's
How many
like
books
too
you read?
pie in the sky. I didn't read fully any of them because as soon as I got into as soon as it started getting silly, I was like, throw it out. I think I got 3 of them.
It's honestly kind of like what we were talking about before the show started with like how billionaires become a billionaire and think like, well, this is how you do it because it's how I did it.
Yeah.
I bet it's like all parenting books are just written by people like, well, this is how I did my kids.
My
and
kids,
they're pretty
that's my
good.
other thing too. Yeah, it's like it's.
I'm sure
it's-
there are some
it's-
written by specialists,
It's
but
it's not like a recipe that you just follow and the cake always comes out the same.
Right.
It's like I have no idea, but I don't think you really do either.
I just think the people that say like there's no book that you get when you become a parent, that's bullshit. There's like infinity books. You can go buy any number.
There's a
of
whole
books.
industry.
Yeah.
But what I did learn is like I read all these ones that one that stuck out was, dude, you're gonna be a dad, and it was like man, like a guy's guy writing about
Yeah.
it, and I was like, this sucks. And that's why I was thinking like I'm gonna do this one for real. But I feel like if you and I thought this with the blog and podcast too. I was like, I'm gonna like tell people the real deal. And then I think we realize that if you do say the real deal, you sound like an abusive parent. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if I were to really tell
I
you
made
how
my
it
kid
goes,
open a
Yeah.
can of beans for 6 hours. Teach her how to do it.
That dude's got so
like,
much
Literally,
baggage,
it
bro.
is the real deal, and amongst us, I would have no problem telling you, like, yeah, I just let my kid fucking watch the iPad, and like, yeah, I let him eat fucking cookies for breakfast, and all these things that if I were to put on the internet now,
Yeah, good
I'd
thing
fucking
this
run
isn't
off
going
you.
on the internet.
I used to take a pack of Gushers, put all of them in my mouth, so they got like a little bit like, and I'd ball them up, and I'd take that ball and I'd put it in a fruit roll-up.
This has nothing to do with parenting, by the way. This is
And he was talking about
What is
candy.
Rudy had a
Story,
3 chi before we got started.
I know
Waiting
it
to get
seems
this off his chest.
it was random, but he was talking about cookies. But a snack I would have is I'd wrap that whole thing
In a fruit roll-up.
in a fruit roll-up and put the entire thing in my mouth and just like sit. It just
See, now to
sounds
wrap
good.
that back to parenting, if I ever caught like Keegan doing that, I'd be like, yeah,
Like,
that's
like,
fucking
that's a
like,
great-
let me get that.
Make me one, bro.
Yeah. I mean, a Gushers roll-up. I mean, I've been making my Rice Krispies charms all week, so I haven't even.
That's like a filet mignon wrapped in bacon. That's some
Yeah,
good
that's some
stuff right
revolutionary
there.
shit,
Yeah.
man. Rudy, you were ahead of your time, man.
Totally.
I'm afraid my kid's not going to learn how to talk.
Okay,
It must be
Wow.
so hard to
Dude.
just learn the English
Like in
language.
Bridgerton, how you couldn't talk.
Could
I
not
like how you messed up
agree
English.
more.
Yeah. Not on purpose.
I know.
That was
No, it
my
was.
number one fear, my number one thing. And guys told me, like, just talk to them, like, just keep talking, and it
Just
works.
get it.
And at least, again, with my kids, it fucking does. And I don't know how. I give those little motherfuckers so much credit. But the weirdest things, too, like Shay, Shay's like pretty precocious, so I don't know if it's for everybody, but like she.
Yeah, she doesn't. Those getting thrown around the house.
Yeah, right? I was like, precocious. My God.
Shay will like she knows like little like phrases and euphemisms. Like the other day, she just goes, "What in the world is that?" And I'm like, "What are you, fucking grandma?"
You almost said, "What in the world was that?"
Yeah, right. I mean, maybe I do say that. I don't know. They just pick up these things that are like.
Didn't she say
I
something
think
like that
your
with her
brain
with
is
the
like-
candles? That like candle story, wasn't she?
Yes.
Like, what
Oh
in the
man, that was the
world?
worst. I bought. It was her 5th birthday, and I bought the cake and the candles, and like at Carvel there was just like a little thing. Like I just pulled it. It was right by the register. Just like I pulled it right off. It was the first one right on the rack, and they were the fucking trick candles that don't blow out.
Oh.
So she's like. And as they were burning, they started to like spark a little bit, and I was
You're
like,
like,
that's not normal. I was like, fuck. So, by the way, I'm at their mom's house with her side of the family. I could not be more in enemy territory. I walked in like
Behind enemy lines.
big time,
Owen
and solo for me. Like it wasn't like I had my side of the family. I was like, I'm not missing the birthday. Like it was the first time we've kind of done it all together. I was like, we got to get over this. This is how it's gonna be. So I walk in and it was icy. And then I put the candles in, and she blows them out, and then they pop back. Or she kind of blew them out, and then I was like, maybe she can't get them all, so let me help. And then they were out, and they sparked back. And I was like, they're the fake candles. So then I'm like, I take the whole cake away. By this point, they've burned down pretty low. So, and this is like, I can't understand how anybody, adults even use these, because now they're burned down all the way, and I'm starting to like pick them off, but there's very little candle left, and it's dripping wax and everything. So at one point, I like really burned my finger, and I like let go, and I throw it.
It goes in the trash can.
No, it landed
House catches
on like
fire.
a thing like this. Like it was like a rubbery dish mat for like when you're drying, and that was like, and just like a little flame comes up, and there's like a smell of burning rubber, and I'm like, I threw the one, and Shay was like, ah! She's like, what in the world are those? And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I either need this to stop right now, or the whole room to burn down. One or the other, because I just need to be out of this situation.
You should have played it off. That's just a classic prank, lighten the mood.
You know, 5-year-old pranks with fire.
Felt the room was
Everybody does
tense.
it.
Yeah.
It was brutal. But yeah, like I mean, I don't know what I'm doing half the time. I guess my to continue with like my recipe analogy, my thing is like if you're a baker, let's say, you make a zillion cakes, like you know how to make a cake, but when you're a parent, you make like one cake. You know, it's like you're not an expert. You baked it one time. You made one fucking thing, and maybe that one's good, but you don't know the rest of all these people, you know. So who really can give any?
And also, I make with HelloFresh a lot of good meals. I couldn't tell you how to make that meal. I could be like, yeah, you put the oven on like 415, 420, I think like that.
And let me
and
tell you,
put the chicken in there for like 18
if you put your kids in the oven and you get the numbers wrong, you're really fucked. So don't do that.
But if you get the numbers right.
When I was younger, I had a really bad fear that I would just like what if I just like didn't vibe with my kids?
That's a fucking thing
That is
too.
so true. What if
Rudy keeps saying vibe and it's very funny, but that's a real
But like
one
what
thing.
I always used to get really scared. I was like, what if like he comes out and we just like don't get along?
I know he's
Like immediate, like.
And he's like, it's like I don't fuck with this kid. Like
kid's
that's
not
not
That's
cool.
a pretty viral tweet. You heard that one where it's
Oh,
like
really?
everyone talking about like abandoned dads or whatever, but like, did y'all ever stop to think like maybe they just didn't vibe with the kid?
Yeah,
It's like the Real Bros of Simi Valley too.
What's
He's
that?
like the Real Bros of Simi Valley, the Jimmy Tatro show.
Oh,
he like
yeah.
hates his friend's kid. It's like
Yeah.
this kid just like doesn't pass the vibe check.
With a
maybe
friend's
bad
kid,
vibes.
I can imagine being like.
Yeah, but it's like he has an
Never talked
intense
about that.
rivalry with a newborn baby.
But like
That's
imagine.
when at like the baby shower where he's like
Yeah.
talking shit.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
seen
yeah,
that clip.
yeah.
Yeah.
There, I know a family that has a bunch of kids. One of them is like scary. Like they're like a little scared of this baby, of this
Really?
child.
Oh
like
shit, like a
it's
psycho?
very kind of
Undertone?
like a little like the eyes are a little crazy and like a little too mischievous, like really like capable
Is he,
and
like,
resourceful and like
killing
fuck
animals?
with you.
He's got a dark triad.
Yeah, I didn't think of it.
Kinda,
I didn't think of
and
it
they're
that
like-
way. I thought it was more. I was like worried that
Just like
like
you're not
one
cool.
day he's like I like love country, and I'm like oh god. I'm like geez, dude.
That's
I
your
don't know.
vibe line with a baby.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
kid-
Wait, what if I don't like his music choices?
I would never give this kid the aux cord ever again.
There's never been a dad who just didn't line up perfectly with his son's musical interests.
Yeah.
Or child's
Grayson-
musical
yeah,
interests.
right.
People don't
Grayson's
talk
a lot
about-
of Playboy Cardi. It's not that hard.
People don't talk about
Exactly.
parental abuse. They talk about child abuse, but like, what if your kid just tortures you with music selections? You want to
Honestly.
be like, hey, this kid, no, I gotta get. This is toxic. My kid's gaslighting me into thinking I like Hootie.
I try to play normal music so I don't have to listen to like play fucking bubble guppies and shit. And it's funny because they do kind of have like their own musical preferences. Like I'll play one song, like a new song, and they're not vibing. And then I play another one, they like that one. I'm like, well, why the fuck didn't you like the last one?
Yeah.
You don't know you don't know the difference. What are you? You're not old enough to have musical preferences
Do you try
yet.
to like censor what music they listen to at all?
So it's funny you said that. Just the other day, I played. I've been trying to listen to Young Thug after that whole Young Thug Jay-Z discussion.
Dude, Diamonds is one of the. I won't even. Diamonds is a sick song. By
So I was like, all right, let me listen to this
It was
dude. If
actually good.
people are really gonna say he's got that many hits and he's like better than Jay-Z, let me
He's got
really try.
bangers.
So I just put on like the This Is Young Thug on Spotify, and I was listening. It wasn't even Young Thug. It was DaBaby. It was DaBaby.
Make her forget what you look at daddy.
What?
That's the DaBaby line. He's like, DaBaby, make her forget about her daddy.
DaBaby and Young Thug.
DaBaby line.
Whatever song that is.
What's popping?
No.
That's Jack
I don't know.
Harlow.
He's on
Idiot.
the song, I think.
Yeah, that's
Might be
right.
Little Baby.
I
I can
I've
go to
listened to this song 1,000 times recently. I can't remember the name.
My dad just
Tommy, can you
pounded
make
it
right
right from
Blind.
bed.
Blind.
New?
And Shay
No,
started.
it's empty.
You are?
Yeah, I'll take one.
Shay started singing like it's hard to sing Young Thug lyrics and like DaBaby lyrics. You know what I mean? Like they're mumbling.
He's like
they're rapping
notably. He speaks slime language.
Right. And she picked up on that and started like
What?
singing it, and I was like, oh, so you can hear all the words here, like you know.
Really?
Yeah. So I guess I got to
Slime
start.
language?
Yeah, that's
What
like
up,
his
Slime?
thing. What up, Slime?
What's
Yeah.
poppin', Slime?
That's his album. Slime Language 3 is actually supposed to be coming out in January.
I didn't know if I knew that.
Slat?
I had
You're
no idea what you
old
were talking
and
about.
washed,
I was
Kelly.
like, this is
Kelly.
just a wow. I have no idea what you're
How are
talking
you?
about.
How are you clicking with the young girls on Are You Because We Got
What do
High?
you think? How do you think? I am?
She's now wearing pigtails, Kevin. That's
Yeah.
how she's clicking.
Hello. You're not seeing me right now.
Just stay
I'm wearing,
young.
I'm wearing a hoodie.
I
That's
feel
what I'm
like
saying.
you live in this
I don't
place.
do that.
You work at Barstool and shit. Time stops.
The
Like
fact
whenever
I'm
you
wearing
get
a
a
hoodie right
job,
now is
whatever
like a
age you
crazy
get a
thing.
job at Barstool is like you just stay that way forever.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
It's wild. I like don't know what to do with myself. It's weird. No, but the girls, it's fine. With Rhea and I, we were already friends anyway, and then Brianna is like almost exactly the same as the both of us. Like when we start talking about like real shit and our upbringings are a little different, but for some reason we all have the same kind of like thought process all the time.
Yeah, Brianna said
So
she'll
it works.
fucking knock a bitch out. Right?
Yeah, but I also am like same, and Rhea's like same. But you know,
How many times have you punched someone in the face?
Thank you very much.
Well, I've been in 2 separate fights. One was like a continuous like head punch situation. The second time was just one in the face.
Did you win both those fights?
Yeah.
How many times have you
Did.
punched someone in the face?
It sounds unbelievable.
Tommy almost got punched in the face today.
Yeah?
Because you know
I
what?
know.
Yeah, no, you didn't know. He's.
I think I know what you're gonna say, but maybe not.
Let's see your guess.
When I came over to you and said, "Great news fights," Tommy's on Friday Night Pints tonight.
That's when you almost got punched.
He goes, "I'm a great news puncher." Tommy's on Friday Night Pints. Like we don't talk about it.
That is so.
That was
punch in
the
face
instant?
worthy.
That was the
Not
instant,
even
Tommy.
funny.
Yeah.
You,
And then I heard you
Mate.
saying it across the room to someone else over by like
Yeah,
Josh's
like, I think I was
desk.
telling Vibs or something.
Viv-
Oh, yeah.
Tommy demanded that Vibs make him a compilation of him winning episodes of.
I
I
won-
was wondering, I saw that, and I was wondering, like, how did this come about? Was Tommy really that great on the show?
I
knew
said
you
it
asked for
before
yourself.
I was like, all right, like my own video, or at least a significant portion of the overall best of 2020 video, and neither happened. And when we got back to the office Monday, I was like, this needs to happen. So Colin made it, but it was like a joke. He didn't actually have to make it.
Aside from
but-
like a couple.
It was a joke.
I mean, I
episodes,
won
I
it.
didn't even know you could win. Lauren.
Well, I won the presidential election. I won the math contest. I won the spelling bee.
These
I
are
won
all
the water
contests I was
taste
not
test.
aware that like people were actually competing.
contests.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
you-
I thought you just
Tommy
like
just
did
You didn't
it.
know
advanced
people were competing in a math
contest
contest?
retroactively. He's
No,
like,
that
I
one
won
What about
do-
what the president? What is that? The
I won
president.
the
That was the
presidency.
most
People voted
pathetic
for
thing
me.
that's ever happened at Barstool.
And-
Tommy walked around this. That was
It's
the lowest
insane.
moment in Barstool history. Tommy walked around
Off
this
Tommy.
office being like, if you vote for me, I'll vote for you for this fake lower in the bar presidential thing. And not only is that the most pathetic thing I've ever heard.
That's smart.
Everybody did it. Like everyone's like, okay, yeah. Like if someone at
It's like
Barstool
easier
begged you
with
to get
Tommy
something,
though.
you do
It's
the
like
opposite.
it's like easier to like appease him when he does like.
You know what to either
No,
do?
you can
Tell
just
Tommy
say-
to go
you-
fuck himself and not do it.
Or you go,
Yeah.
okay, sure.
And then you lie.
you just don't
And
do
you just
it.
lie.
Nobody
Yeah.
should have voted for Tommy.
I was so
Everybody should have been
convincing,
like,
though. I
fuck
was
that.
so
Lying is so
convincing.
easy. Do you like to manipulate people?
Love it.
He likes
Same.
to live out his
That's
life.
just
He
the
like
only same.
cosplays
But I
as
feel like
a
you're good at it.
survivor person.
That's I've been
Yeah.
playing
Like-
Among Us with like Smitty on Game Time. And when you get, has anyone here played Among Us?
No, no,
I
I
don't-
don't.
No,
I've
but I want
watched
to.
Right
I
up
want
my
to
alley.
play. I don't
It's
know
like
how
you
to play.
basically 2 people are an imposter. 7-ish people are the crewmate,
It's
and
like
then
a
you
murder
kill
mystery.
people
Yeah,
after
like
you
a
I
murder
know,
mystery
like-
dinner.
Also,
Yeah.
I just found a YouTube series
way, I
last
wanna go
night.
to one.
One
I wanna do that.
Odd Man Out.
Okay.
Has anyone ever seen that?
No.
So it's like 6 vegans, 1 non-vegan, 6 Trump supporters, 1 Trump hater, 6
Okay.
gay guys, 1 straight guy, and like basically it's 7 people, and they have to ask each other questions and figure
have to
out
figure out who the
odd
odd
man
man
out
out.
is.
That's cool.
See, this
It
was
is
my-
electrifying.
Oh, that's
We should do
interesting.
a random
It's
of a game
random.
we played on New Year's, which is the oldest sentence I've ever said. We played a
Yeah.
board game on New Year's at VFTs, and it's called Secret Hitler. And you have to. There are 2 fascists. Depends how many people you play with.
To rise up to
But
power.
there are 2 fascists, and 1 person's Hitler, and then everyone else is a liberal. But no one knows who's who, except the fascists know they're all fascists. And then you have to get Hitler elected into office. It's really fun.
There was a screaming match going on.
Yeah, it gets-
What do you mean? How do you, like,
I
get-
put on
like, how do
a
you get
clothespin. I was like, I'm the resistance. I'm not a fascist. People still didn't believe me. People thought that I was either Hitler or
I
like one of
would
these
absolutely
American
But like,
accents.
so in that game, if anybody was pushing hard to vote for someone, wouldn't you just assume, well, that guy's a fascist, and the person
Well, but
he's
yeah,
pushing
that's why
for is
you have
Hitler?
It's a lot more explaining than what I've done that quick. It's easier to understand if you have the game in front of you and all that stuff. But like you were just supposed to lie the whole time. Like even the
Okay.
fascists are pretending to be liberals.
Got it,
and then
got it.
everyone's trying to pretend to be a liberal to trick everyone to thinking. So everyone's like, that's fucking Hitler right there, because there's more things involved again. But like there are cards you give to someone. It's a lot more to explain it right now. But it is.
Can
it's
we
a,
play
there's-
immediately after this?
It's a great
Yeah,
game to
that
set.
What's
sounds
your
Very
favorite board
fun.
game ever?
Board? I honestly was never too big into board games.
I'm surprised
like,
you
as
didn't
a
play
kid.
Risk. You seem like a Risk guy.
I feel like I would have liked it, but no, I
What about you?
really never
I
got
feel like
into
you might be a
board
Risk
games.
guy.
Risk was okay. It just took too long. I
Yeah, I
didn't
mean,
have the
it's
attention
just-
span.
I don't think
It's
they ever
like-
even
I say
attempted to
chess.
play Risk.
It's like a day. People who like Risk,
They love
Risk, and people who are good at Risk are good. You
You're
can't.
not
you can't just
gonna-
be like, oh, okay, I'll play. You get your fucking ass kicked.
You're not gonna believe this, but as a child, I was more of a Candyland solitaire chess guy, checkers guy.
Yeah, that sounds
Same.
about right. What did you like?
Those are the games that are my
yeah, chess was pretty good. I like chess. I like Monopoly.
I mean, chess is not a board game.
chess is.
I mean, I know it is, but it's like when you say board
Yeah.
game. Chess
I didn't
Chess is
understand-
like its own thing.
I
Chess is
like
chess.
as far as like actual board games like that
Yeah,
you
like
play that have
dice and-
squares
and
and,
thi-
dice
yeah,
and shit.
yeah.
Monopoly would probably be the first. Which, by the way, we should make a Barstool Monopoly and have every single square on the
my
board
God.
be like Milton, like HQ1, et cetera, et
So
cetera.
I actually said that.
go to
I was
jail and it's Hank, Gaz, and Dave and Fikes
There's something
being
for like
walked
That's a
around.
good
every
idea.
Yeah.
for
So fun.
everything. Like you can make the railroads like blackout tour spots along the way or whatever. There's so much you can do there.
My,
and I also think Clue would be great too. You could be like it was musky
Yeah.
and the fucking with the scissors and the air conditioner.
I was just
But I
telling
don't know,
Kelly,
can you make those things? Because there's like copyright.
there's like licensing
You
deals.
tweak it a
happen.
little-
and I
okay.
feel like Monopoly is pretty careful with who they like. They've licensed to Star Wars, I think.
Right.
They licensed to like.
I don't
you
think
know,
we're getting
They have
the
big
Marvel,
dogs.
I
there's
think
a
I have
lot.
a Game of
Marvel.
Thrones Monopoly also or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't
That'd
think
be
Barstool's
lit.
getting the nod for that, do you?
I feel like we should at least try. 'cause it would
I
sell.
think all of
Let's
them.
give
I
it a
think
try.
any board game like you played growing up as a kid, if you like Barstoolified it, people and like the little
Yeah.
pieces, if you could be
Over-
fucking
guess who?
you guys.
Would be
Over
a no-brainer.
Christmas, my
Guess-
sister
Oh my
made
God, guess
who? Over Christmas, my sister did that with our family. So she
Oh,
took
no shit.
she took all the faces out, and I think I have a picture of it somewhere. But
Yeah,
she
you
took all the faces out and just replaced them with like
so
pictures
cool.
of our family
Yeah.
members, and it was like, all right, is this person? Like, and it was really fun, and also like kind of dangerous because you're playing with your family. And
My,
Oh,
my
fat
friends
people.
did
Yeah,
that for
yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Did you know that? They
I
did
mean-
that for me for my 30th birthday, but it's full of like all my ex-boyfriends from like back into like the 4th
You
grade.
can fill up a fucking Guess Who board, Kelly?
Yeah.
God damn.
No, it's
you
not
win
all.
Guess
It's
Who?
not only
that-
ex-boyfriends.
How do you win Guess Who?
That's
The
the
Barstool
who guesses
No, no,
first.
it's
You gotta
not.
guess
It's
first.
John's
Got it.
family.
The thing that they have
These are
cards.
not like-
So
young
are they
girl on
blonde?
there.
And you put
So you're
down
not
No,
really
mine.
playing against.
That's awesome.
Oh, here,
Yes,
look.
you are.
It's like
No,
you
it
have
has
a
like
card,
other
I have a
things
card,
on it
who
too.
can guess
like
it first?
a jewel, my
basically.
nana,
You're
my
not guessing
dog.
the
Two
same
different
Okay.
cards.
Two different cards.
Gotcha.
I
And you
like
have to
that.
answer honestly.
The Barstool
before-
Guess Who would be so funny. Be like,
So you don't like
Or-
are
that.
you a white
Showing
guy?
my
with
guess
dark
who.
hair?
This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
this
That's
That's my
age
guess who. It's
25
got
to
random things on it
35.
too,
Yeah.
but also
Yes.
it's like a troll board.
I mean,
You
that
have a
would
patchy
be.
beard.
So
Yes.
if that
That one
happened,
we can sell because it's not
if
like
that
it's.
happened for your 30th and at Christmas with my sister made it, this
That's
was
a
on
thing.
Pinterest or something.
Oh,
TikTok. It's on Tik- it was
yeah.
on TikTok. My
Okay.
friends. That's where my
Oh, it's a
friends got the
TikTok thing?
idea.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, I was telling her a second ago, like, I would love to go to a Clue, like, murder mystery dinner. I know
love
that
that
makes me
shit.
sound old as fuck.
It
but,
does.
like,
It
No,
does.
it's
I would
legit.
absolutely love
PFT.
that.
I'm going to tell you something. We're going to go on vacation together. There's a train that
three
runs
of
through
us.
wine country that is a murder mystery train.
Like that.
I mean,
fucking
like the
Orient
Like the Orient Express?
You know I
Yeah.
love
I
trains,
haven't
John.
taken that trip.
This one got out of the seat.
That's
There's a reason why those
It was,
Yeah,
I
I
was
like you
honestly
guys.
like, I honestly wanted to go before the pandemic hit,
but it's like it goes through wine country and they serve you wine and there's a murder mystery and like someone on a train's a murderer and you got to figure out who it was.
Yes.
I was like,
Yes.
that sounds
that
fucking awesome.
sounds
Amazing.
old, but there's a reason why like that
How
book and the
long?
movies and all that shit is
Always
classic.
so.
Because
It's 4 hours.
you could be young, you could be old, you could be any generation of any time.
Yeah.
Like that hits.
It's
Yeah.
so fun.
Those murder mystery type shit. I love
That
the
would
clue
be-
stuff.
Fuck yeah.
Do you like escape rooms?
I've never done escape room. To me,
Yeah.
escape room feels like a little gimmicky.
It
like,
is.
It feels
is.
a little.
I did it and it was like it was fun.
contrived.
I thought I was really gonna like it because I think of all these things kind of in the same vein as the escape room. You have to do it with the right people, like other.
Yeah.
You know, like if some people aren't into it, it kind of ruins the fun.
So,
like,
so I think to me the reason why I don't like the idea of an escape room is because it's become one of the like ultimate corporate outing
yeah, it's
destinations.
very hacky.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I feel like
It kinda
this
got
is
too
this is like a
corporate, yeah,
team
too big.
building exercise I'm doing with my manager.
Yes.
When I
Yeah,
go
yeah,
there,
yeah.
you
It's
know,
more
like
like forced fun now.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like,
Right.
oh, okay.
yeah. What about zip lining? Like, how
would
come
love to
zip
do that.
lining became one of those things that you do with somebody that you work with to like build
know.
teamship with or whatever?
I don't know. It sucks
I don't
because
know, bro.
it's fun normally.
Dude, if you find out the answer, let me know.
I mean, did you see that video that went viral of dude ziplining where like the fucking
Yo, did you get more Colorado when you moved here? I feel like you
talking
did.
He's the most Colorado.
Like when you were back in Colorado, I was gonna say your teeth look. I was
Show
judging
the
your
camera
teeth
those
look
teeth, baby.
fantastic.
Look at that beautiful
They look
smile.
really nice.
Looking
Brand
fresh.
new.
Brand new choppers, baby.
But were you
Okay,
just
me too.
Colorado when you lived in Colorado?
I think probably, yeah.
Or
But he probably just
you were
blended right
surrounded
in.
by Colorado
Yeah,
people.
he-
Right now
he-
it's here. It's like a kid.
But you're not a native Coloradan, are you?
Yeah, I was born there.
Where were you born?
In Denver.
Oh
In
shit!
Denver, yeah.
When you first like left Colorado and you went down to sea level with us normal people, were you like, "This is"? Did you get like high as shit off
Is it
the
so
oxygen?
easy to breathe here? Breathe here?
Yeah, no,
good
it's
question.
it is like the biggest thing is I was like, wow, people are like really like rude outside of like like in the East Coast, like
Yeah.
they're like way like ruder. But
the vibes, man.
It's
yeah.
We
Bad
do
vibes.
not pass the vibe check.
But it's easier. Like in Colorado, like it's there's like so much more space.
Are you
And the
saying
west-
Colorado?
He is. I just
Is
noticed
that- you
No,
said it
that's
too.
that's actually the only
Colorado.
way you can like the only thing that's like a Colorado accent is how you say Colorado. Like Colorado.
It's like
say-
Australia.
Yeah,
If you
Colorado.
just pronounce
Colorado.
if you just pronounce Australia correctly.
Yeah,
sound
like
like
for
you're
whatever
Australian.
reason, people
Yeah.
from Colorado say Rado. I don't
Yeah.
know why, and then people who aren't from
But
there
I didn't
say
even realize
Rado.
that until right now.
So.
I didn't even realize that's a thing. I
Yeah.
guess that's like Nevada, Nevada. Colorado,
Yeah, it's
Colorado,
like but other than
Colorado.
that, you can't tell like there's like no accent whatsoever.
They've got a great flag in Colorado.
Great
great
flag.
state flag.
Yeah.
Super
That's
good
nice.
flag.
I love their state
Dude,
flags.
the old Colorado Rockies, which was a hockey team, used to have that as their jersey, and it was like one
Yeah.
of the best jerseys ever.
Sick jersey.
Dude, Laney
I would
McDonald.
always change that in NHL. I'd always wear that jersey.
It's super good. Laney McDonald, who played for the Flames, used to play for them, and he had that like huge. You kind of look like him actually. He had that like red mustache.
Yeah, the big
It
one.
was so sick.
I feel like John knew that you were going to say you kind of look like him before you said it.
Well, I
Like,
knew
based on your
I
face.
knew what he looks
You were
like,
looking
and I
you're
could
like,
just see what he was doing, and he's red.
Yeah,
and I was
yeah.
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
You anticipated that.
Rudy told me the story when we went out to Vegas when I fucked the stadium and he was like out there producing and being like the camera guy. He told me this story about his first trip to Vegas with his friends, where he pulled the biggest fucking snake move of all time. Like I respect it, and I get why he
dude.
pulled the snake move, but you should tell that story because like I feel like everyone's thought about doing something like that.
Yeah,
but we
it's a
haven't.
relatable story. I was just the one that pulled the trigger. So my friend's 21st, we decided to go to Vegas. And Colorado is like fairly close to Vegas, like just close enough to consider driving. So we decided to drive rather than fly because we thought in our heads that that'd be fun. So we drove there, which took forever. And we were planning on staying.
Road trips are so much fun for the first hour.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, then you're like, why did we do this?
Yeah.
How long was the drive?
It was like 2.5 days. We took our time.
I thought you were going to say hours.
I thought it was going to be like
He's like,
16
it's not that
hours
far.
or
To
something.
drive from where to where?
Colorado. It took
To Las Vegas?
maybe I'm like remembering wrong, but it took
Dude, that's
That
not
takes 2.5
No,
hours.
I
far.
could get to
driving
Florida.
across the country. Down
Yeah.
New York to
Listen,
Florida.
man, we
is a
took our
dick.
time, man. We
You-
went on
Yeah, I
a
was gonna say,
circuit.
you just
That's
stopping a
about the
lot.
most Colorado thing I've ever seen.
Let me look it up, Rudy. We're in Colorado. We're
from Denver to
Okay.
Vegas, but we stayed. Here's
Wait,
the thing.
let's take guesses on how long you
the
you
reason,
drove that straight through.
though, that we had to like
7.
he
yeah,
was turning.
I'd say like
10.
8.5.
I would have thought like
8.5 hours.
16.
no, I think it's
honestly.
12. We had
I
to
don't know my
stay.
geography.
We had to stay in like a hotel the night before we got to Vegas. That's why it took a little bit longer because he was turning 21 the next night, and we didn't want to spend money. We didn't want to spend like more money in Vegas, so we stayed in Mesquite, which is like right on the border, and it's like this horrible town.
11
Anyways,
hours.
11?
11 hours. That's
Well,
that's
that's
still
not crazy.
No, that's
But
that's
it's not
kind of a
2.5 days
crazy
away,
road
but-
trip. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
So you
it-
can
we
get
took-
to like
we took-
Atlanta from here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not like, it's close enough to drive.
at all. Yeah. Anyway, so we were driving there, and in my head, I was like, "There's no shot I'm making this drive back because it's going to be like the most depressing thing ever." We were all in on it together.
The return from Vegas is never
Return
fun,
from
let alone
Vegas,
if you're
and I
flying,
didn't-
let alone driving.
Right, exactly. And so we stayed there I stayed there for 24 hours, and I basically made up an excuse where I was like, "Oh, I got to go train for this thing or for hockey," or I made up something. And basically they stayed for an extra 12 hours.
Thank you.
And then I was like, "I'm sorry guys, I really got to fly back. I got to bounce." And I was the only one that left. And they had to stay an extra 12 hours and then drive the next morning. And they were calling me on the drive, and they were like, "This is the single worst experience we've ever had in our life." And I basically I was like Benedict. I was like Benedict Junda. I flew home.
I think that's that's
no
completely
problem
fair.
with
I don't think that's a
12
snake move at
hours
all.
So long.
That's listen, we on the return.
Vegas?
It's we all know how bad this was, and we all could choose. Maybe on the way there, if it was we all made plans and then I just pussy out at the last second. But the return trip is we all know how much this sucked. We all know how hungover we are, and I'm just gonna peel off and do it without. If you left them without a car or something like that, I get it. But
The car I
think
was
that's
driving
fine.
at 21, I would absolutely just left there and I'm flying home.
This belongs.
we took-
Fucking Homeland Security
Yo.
when I had to go to the airport. This car's been here for 3 weeks. Take it. I don't know what the fuck you want with it.
We took my buddy's minivan.
Yeah.
Leave that.
Minivans,
Whatever the fuck it is.
by the way, I wish that I wish I could have been around when minivans came out to try to change the perception of minivans. With my friend
cool.
Vinny, we called
But
it the Vinny van.
here's the deal,
And it was
everyone.
the Vinny
Vinny
van was
van.
we used to pack into it.
awesome. That's a great
the Vinny
van.
van was amazing. Whoever was driving the night, we could pack everybody drunk in there.
It's amazing.
It's like taking your couch on the road.
Yes.
Especially nowadays, if you get it hooked up. The kids'
Honda
mom
Odyssey?
drive it. It's it's got the DVD, it's got the captain seats, it's got a vacuum built in. You drop some chips, suck it up. I mean, it's amazing.
Is it still DVDs though? I
Well,
didn't
that
think
is.
about that until just now.
We do have a DVD player, which is kind of what do we do with this?
Well, right, but do cars have streaming services in the car?
I
yet?
bet you a Tesla does. Have you seen how Tesla you can have your customized horn?
That I saw, yeah.
That's
I
cool.
saw a
What
lot
would
of
be your
move, bitch, get out
customized
the
horn
way.
for your car? You can
Horn?
horn, you
Horn,
can
you can-
upload
I thought you said-
I'm a traditionalist when it comes to horns.
so there was a guy who
I think you gotta
uploaded
go
the.
reggaeton.
There was a guy who uploaded the Pornhub. So every time he honks, somebody put "move, bitch, get out the way." I don't know if people would realize that they're getting honked at. It's kinda
I would
cool.
just record me doing a horn with
Get
my
the
voice.
fuck out.
No, I'd be like,
Please move.
like your own voice would be
I think
funny.
I'm
I
the
had
French
a kid,
police siren. I love how a French police siren's
Yeah, dude. That's the best part of the Bourne movies is
Yes,
hearing
all
the
Pink
cop
Panther.
cars.
What did you watch? Da Vinci Code
Pink
recently?
Panther?
Dude, I did too. Dude, Da Vinci Code.
3 weeks ago.
I did too. It's such a good Robert
first
Langdon.
time.
That's a great character.
The Da Vinci Code, the books, the movies, fucking fire.
The
Fucking fire.
I had a kid in college, and I feel like this is probably typical of every Southern fraternity, but I had a kid who was in my frat in college who had the boat horn attached to his truck.
Of course.
And it was
Just like a tugboat,
it was crazy loud.
Yeah.
And he's a dickhead about it. Anytime someone was crossing the street, he's at a red light, someone was crossing in front of him, he hit it. And I will be honest, at the time it was quite funny. Now, looking back, we were pieces of shit.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
at the time, that was kind of funny.
I feel like I mean, I guess if you can only have one horn, but I feel like wouldn't it be great if you could say things? You know what I mean? Like if you could speak to the other car. Be like,
Yeah.
You're driving
Yeah.
too slow. Get out of the way.
Or
Let me in, dick. I need
Because a
you know.
horn can mean so many different things.
Yeah.
Like,
It
if
can
there
be
was
a friendly
different
horn, it
horn
could be-
for
yeah.
various
It's like
things.
Curb, the what's he call it? I forget what Larry David calls it, but he's giving it like the
Toot, toot. Like a little-
the honk or whatever he
Yeah.
said.
Kinda like
Yeah,
hollow-
I got hit the
hollow
other day.
honk.
I was leading the line at the red light, and I was looking at my phone, and it went green. And then I got a doot, and it was like, oh, okay, shit, sorry.
Yeah.
You know, but it wasn't you know. So the way you hit it, the way you touch it, if there was other buttons where you could be like, my nice horn, my mean horn, my get the fuck out of the way, my this is an
Voices
emergency
would
horn.
be so funny.
Right?
I've always wanted one of those things.
Like a
where
hey
I
now,
can,
hey
project
now.
your-
Settle.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would
Sir?
turn around to that though. Would you think?
No, that's what I mean.
If I
It's
heard that,
gotta-
I'd be like, "What's going on?" But I think I would respond to if I had the thing in my car with I don't know. It's not a CB radio, but it's whatever the fuck with a.
Speakerphone.
Do you know what I'm
Megaphone.
talking
Yeah,
about?
you
okay.
could talk.
Where you could just yell out
Yes.
at people. That is what I
Yes.
want to do.
Magic
Like in
Like in
real time.
Hangover,
I
like
don't.
Miss
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
great
I don't
tits?
want.
Yeah.
I don't want like pre-recorded anything. I want to
on
be
the
like
fly.
bitching out and
You're
like,
stuck in gridlock
Yeah,
traffic. You just get to
exactly,
like start doing like stand up in the middle of
Yeah,
the
you're like, well,
to
since
everyone's
this is
like,
how
you
you
guys
are
have to
here.
listen to my
You
jokes.
You would so go to like
Yeah.
LA on the
You
405
would wait for
at
traffic.
Everybody,
Traffic jam? I'll be there in a second.
You guys want to hit me on
what's the
Instagram?
cars are just driving off bridges.
How's everyone doing?
You
You know what I think about is the like when people die in car accidents and their head lands on the wheel and it's just and it's
so
like
true.
move, bitch, get out the way.
Oh my god.
Just a
that's
fucking
a
dance party
nightmare.
breaks out by the car.
That's a nightmare.
I've always thought it
Oh my
cool.
God.
I don't know if it'd be like an app or a feature that you could build into a car, but back when I used to work in a different life at like a custom software place, I was telling people like, we need to make this app because I think it could be big. I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's an app or if it's a feature in a car, but if you're just like driving down a highway and you pass somebody, you hit a button. And it's like the car on your right is Jim. He works at so-and-so, and he likes to fish or whatever. Like, you learn a little something about the people that are around you,
Interesting.
as long as you're within, 15 feet of that car or whatever.
Like
Yeah.
I feel like
proximity chat.
it humanizes people.
Yeah, you stop the road race.
It would
So,
reduce road
yeah.
rage a
Wow,
little
that
bit.
is true.
And if maybe
What if
you're
you're
a single
unemployed?
person and
I
you're
would, like, use that
DTF
for
or whatever,
You
like
can't-
you start
it'd be a
passing
dating app.
somebody, and it's like, hey, this is Molly, and she is ovulating right now. Okay, let's part.
There'd be a lot
probably-
more.
only going
There'd be a
pretty
lot
around
more
truck
rear
stop.
endings. It'd be like someone's in front of
Trying
you
to
that
catch
is
up.
single, and you'd be like,
Yeah.
That's true, but
I was
True,
racing a
that's
dude the
true.
other day. I was telling this on KFC Radio where like he cut me. I kind of cut him off and he cut me off, and then we were just like pretending it was fucking Formula One race. And if I had known like, yeah, like this is Steve. His mother died last fall, and like he's like alone. I'm like, okay, you can go ahead.
Right,
that is a
right.
good idea.
Or like this person has 2 kids. It's just, I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah,
when
right.
we're in a car, for some reason, I don't know if it's like the
Rage.
walls around us while we're driving, but like everybody that's not in your car is the enemy.
Yep.
Like you're on your own.
And you're the
It's-
worst
you're
version
army
of yourself
one in the
inside.
And how about
Yes.
The worst
Yes.
version
how
of
about
yourself.
like if you're in the car and someone's walking and they're like taking their time and it's like, can't you fucking
hate
like
that.
speed
Yeah.
up? But then when you're crossing, if someone like zips past you, you're like, hey, come on,
I
I'm
always
just
am like,
walking
oh,
the street, I'm just
hit
crossing
me
it.
already. Like,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And
It's like
in real life,
whichever,
no, I don't want that. Please.
whichever
don't.
side you're
Yeah.
on is
My,
like.
my
you
favorite
become-
rule of life is pedestrians always hate motor car drivers.
Yep.
Motor car drivers always hate pedestrians.
Feitelberg
Everyone always
hates
hates
bikers.
cyclists.
Yeah.
what would yours say if you had one?
Oh, yeah.
Shit. I don't know. I don't have a car right now.
But if you did, it'd be like you love dogs. Like you used to take care of dogs a lot.
I'd be like, yeah, I'd probably be
Dog
like,
lover.
hey, my name's PFT. I
My brother's dead and I-
subscribe to part of my take.
Unsubscribers.
No, but
I'll
see,
tell
how
you
about
what, you
that?
shouldn't have that.
Yeah, the other person would be like, oh,
Yeah,
another
followers.
podcaster.
Yeah.
You can't have,
Well, that's what I'm
it's
saying, all
Leonardo
this.
DiCaprio next to you.
And I would like drive around looking for people though.
Mhm.
Like I would go around looking like I don't know for Leonardo DiCaprio.
You're describing a stalker.
Yeah.
I
I'm
drive through the
saying.
night just trying to
I'm
find
always-
people.
You can still do that.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm always like.
Who's that guy in The Bachelor? You're like, what
Have
is he
you
like?
I'm
ever
always
done
lightly describing
a
a stalker
drive-by?
in like a nice way, so you guys can off my dick about it.
Have you ever
I
done
know
a
the
drive-by
neighborhood
of a
he lives in if you
boyfriend's
want to just like
house?
cruise.
Yeah, cool. I'll go through. What's that?
Have you ever done a drive-by of a boyfriend's house?
Oh, that's a mean question.
I'll take it
like,
off.
You just know the answer. To
Yeah.
that. Like, why would you ask that?
I've done
Rude.
it before to a girl's house.
Thank you.
I think a
Thank
lot of
you.
people do
Nothing
that.
You
Never.
have never driven by a girl's house.
Never.
Never.
I've gone out of my way to not
I've
go
done
by
it.
a girl's house.
I've done it.
Pussies.
I've done it.
Yo, I think that's crazy.
I've never done it, but like I know that like it's something that if it's on your way somewhere, like
That's what I
you
did.
can't help but look. You
Yeah.
know? Like
That's
just,
very fair.
just out of
Yeah.
curiosity
Yeah,
as
I
you're
did.
driving
I-
by.
And that's
What
why I
car is
started
that
going out of
on?
my way.
Oh yeah,
Because I would
don't
catch
have to
myself
change
when
your
I
drive.
drive.
I don't
I
drive.
just go different
Sometimes
ways.
I would go out of my way the opposite way. Like I could go home this way without it, or I could go home this way with like,
see
oops,
it.
then I'll just happen to drive by.
Yeah,
Like,
but have you
whoops,
ever
no.
felt better after doing it?
Yes, always. That's
And
why
wait,
you
what
do
do
it.
you?
Oh, okay.
You're looking to see if
Yeah,
the
no,
car's
why?
there, if
Why
he's
do you feel
home,
I
if
don't
he's
know.
not
It's
home.
like a okay, yeah, maybe like if they're home or if they're
Or
not
someone else
home.
is
I would
there.
do it
If
for the
someone else is
memories.
there. If they're
If you
home and
drive
nobody's
by and you
That's
see
really
like
what
a
you're
white
looking
like,
Civic
phew,
coupe
thank
outside,
God.
it's like, oh, that bitch is there, Stephanie's there.
yeah, then I go home and cry myself to sleep. But it's like otherwise, it's all good.
Have you ever burnt a boyfriend's house down?
No.
I did
They
it.
mostly have lived in
Have
apartments.
you ever punched a boy?
Yes, in like a
Domestic
second grade.
abuse.
Yep. Have you ever
Yeah.
slapped a boy?
Oh, actually, no. I've also.
Wait, did you
like,
say?
punched
Did I
him.
interrupt you saying 7th grade?
I said second grade, but then when
Oh,
you said
okay.
that, it reminded me of somebody who yelled at me, who I did actually punch as an adult and said it was domestic abuse. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, I gotta go. Goodbye.
Later, bro.
I,
Bye, Fester.
You're
Oh my
afraid
God.
to drive?
I don't like.
You don't like
it.
to drive on the highway,
I've
right?
never driven on the highway. Even driving around town, I'll drive to the pizzeria or something.
That'd be
I mean, I live in the
love
city.
driving.
That'd be a funny
To the
video. You should make a
pizzeria?
video.
But you grew up.
Yeah.
I'll drive to the pizzeria.
If I had to rank the destinations
Do you mean
I've drove,
I'll go pick up a slice of pizza?
I would say
I'd
the
drive
pizzeria.
to the pizzeria.
I'm
To
with
the
Tommy on
pizzeria?
this
Maybe
one.
that's a New York.
It might be a New
Yeah,
York
that's
thing.
a New York
When you
thing.
say if you go get, like if I order if you go pick up fucking
A pizza?
thing of pizza, what would you say?
Get a
I'm
pie.
gonna go get food. I'm gonna go pick up a pizza on my way home.
Pick
Yeah.
up a pizza. You would say
Yeah.
pie?
Say pie,
Pizza.
yeah.
You say pizza? What do you say?
I'd say I'm going to get pizza.
I feel like
Or
I've
I'm
done
going-
both. I feel like I would say I'm gonna go get pizza, but if I specifically order like a large pie, I'd be like, I'm gonna go pick up a pie.
No, I probably wouldn't. say
Tommy, it looks like your
Yeah.
jokes were killing over there.
Yeah, all along.
Cleared
Yeah,
everybody
damn,
out.
Tommy, what happened over
Social
here?
distance.
I miss, honestly, that's the thing I miss most about outside of New York is driving. I really miss
I
it.
mean, I just
I
don't
love it.
I
I'm
miss
totally on
driving
board
too.
with
The
that.
open
When
road.
when I got back like to the burbs and I got a car, I've been driving this fucking this nice Hyundai. Hyundai hooked me up while they're fixing my old one, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go back.
You
It's
still
like a-
rolling with that? They still have the nice one?
Yeah, it's got not until Monday. My carriage
little
turns back into a
Hyundai?
fucking my it's like the Palisade. It's like this fucking 3-rows SUV, full hookup. It's got a rear view camera and an above camera.
For
What
what?
is the above camera?
It's like
That I don't get.
imagine if you had a drone
An
like flying
intercontinental
over you
ballistic missiles coming
and
at
it
you?
like
So
can
weird.
see down. I guess it
How?
does. I guess it does like it has the side cameras, and then I guess it kind of just does like a composite of, but like it
Oh,
kind of
because
works.
it knows what the top of the car looks like in the computer. So
Right.
if it has
So
like
then it
4
just
different
fills in the
cameras,
sides?
But
it
like
can
when
okay.
when I'm pulling
That's
out
cool.
of my house, there's like a tree to the left, and like on the sky view, it like there's a tree. Like it's not just like there's an object, there's a thing. It's like, which
Wow.
I kind of get it, but it feels like I'm like, is there a drone flying above me that's like relaying
Yeah.
the video?
I wonder
So
if
it's like
it's-
hooked up, and
Do you think
Cinderella's
they're
turned
like
into a-
satellites, like going back and forth from
I don't think it's
space?
that. That's what it feels like. I don't think they're doing that, but it seems like
You
they're.
think
like-
Hyundai has a satellite?
I don't know.
Oh,
That's what
they've
I'm
got
saying.
several.
Dude, Hyundai's
yeah.
the real
sure,
deal.
right?
Could
Like,
you
Hyundai's
they-
the real deal.
Could you like only look at the screen like it's a video game, seeing the view from above,
And
like
drive
be
that
able
way?
to drive just like looking
That
down
would
here?
be-
It
Dude,
took
the
me a while to get
Teslas-
used to looking in the rear view, the rear view.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
staunch.
Camera.
I was
used to,
very.
I used to still have to turn,
Yeah.
and now I can just like
I
felt
was
the
very
adapter.
against the cameras,
Me
and then
too.
I tried it once, and it was like
It's so much better.
Yeah,
and you
way
can
better.
get like, right, especially parking in New York and shit. Like if you're looking over, you're like, all right, I gotta stop, and you have like 12 inches left. You know what I mean? You can
Yeah.
get right up when you lose the camera.
Yeah, you don't realize how therapeutic driving is. You're like in like a
really
little
is.
sanctuary.
Music.
You're
Yeah.
in a sanctuary.
You know what my favorite is? Driving in the rain.
Oh,
I'm in my little like
I will
cozy.
say
The
this,
rain's hitting. I'm
not-
just like good to go.
Not lots of rain, just
Yeah,
like
I don't feel like
drizzle.
you don't
dangerous.
know
Like
though,
light
Tommy.
season.
You don't know.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the
That
thing.
sounds dangerous driving in the
No,
rain.
like a light drizzle, and you put on like
It's
glass.
just-
It's almost like
That's
I
just
almost
the-
like I like
I
being
just-
under an
I have
umbrella,
a
too.
very
It's like I'm
Yeah,
safe
oh,
under
same,
here.
same,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
part of
It
it.
is,
I
it
just
makes you
have a
feel
bad
small,
attention.
No,
You
you're
know what
no,
you should
you're
do?
no,
I like
you're no
zone out
different.
as
You
I'm
just
driving.
grew up in New York.
Well, also,
You
like,
grew up
yeah,
in Long Island. You have to drive in Long
no,
Island.
but I got my license February of senior year. You know, I graduate in June. I'm in college. I'm obviously
That's
not
true.
driving at
Why'd you
Fordham for
wait so
4
long?
years.
Oh, I guess
You can't get it till you're 17, so I was like 17 and a half. It wasn't that.
Jersey 17 too.
I'll be right.
got
In
my
Colorado,
permit, I
you're
was like
whipping that
15.
shit when
I
you're
got my
Drive till I was
permit
like
at
sophomore
16,
year.
license at 16, or license at 17.
You're an idiot.
And then yeah, I mean, I went
That
to
actually
Fordham. I
must
didn't
be the
drive there,
difference.
and then I went to the city.
Tommy had a friend that already had a car, and he would just like bum rides.
No,
with that
I
friend.
actually was one of my first. Like I used to drive my friends around a lot.
At
senior year.
17?
17?
What were you guys
Yeah.
doing for like 2 years?
We just were
I
not
had a
legally
friend
allowed
who
to drive.
was
It's
like
crazy
a year
looking-
older, kind of like, and so he got his permit when we were like he was driving forever.
so
and
just
he was the guy
driving.
right away.
Honestly, like the older I get, the more terrified I am of the fact that people who are 16 are allowed to drive.
in
Like,
Colorado,
that's
I was
I say
crazy.
to him all the
It's
time.
crazy.
I was thinking,
Like,
like
a
a 16-year-old
16-year-old
girl
just
just
suck.
like went through a
Yeah.
I was
breakup
an
with her boyfriend
asshole.
is driving.
I was an
Yeah.
asshole. Like you have no idea.
Giving
Oh my
people. That's
God.
why I feel like the self-driving car era is like really not too far from now.
Yeah.
And I feel like one day they're gonna look back and be like, can you believe they let people control
Dude, I was
these
driving
at whatever speed they
Yeah.
wanted with whatever they wanted to go?
Did you
like,
guys watch that show Upload on Amazon? I know that they did like a thing, I think, for a while. It's actually so good. It's a little cheesy, but it's this guy gets into a car accident in a self-driving car, but it's not like I don't know, there's there's foul play afoot. That his soul is like uploaded to this fake afterlife.
Oh.
So he's still around, but like his body, you know, all
Yeah.
that's the whole point of the thing. And
Sounds
so,
like Soul.
I think
it's a little bit like
self-driving.
Soul. I said it. I was like, Soul is reminiscent.
Dude,
of
I was
the show out
driving in Colorado. I was 15. I was driving when I was 15.
Full
No, with
license
my
permit.
mom.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
mom had
Yeah,
to
we could do
sit
that too.
there.
Tommy's weird. I got my license at 15, full license at 16.
I remember I went to Florida once, and I've been there multiple times. One time I went to
That's so
Florida, is
sick.
what I should say. And my cousin, who had like just turned 15, got her permit. I went to a Denny's, and they asked if she wanted a children's menu. Like, you can't still be driving if they're asking you for a children's
agree.
menu.
Danny was
That's
getting
crazy.
carded for the fucking waffle machine, and he could drive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
That's my
it's.
favorite.
I feel like the self-driving car thing is gonna be weird. Like
Yeah.
the
It's kind of spooky, actually.
I
like-
didn't
I
I
think
didn't
so,
quite
too.
understand the
'Cause-
ramifications of like being able to drive is kind of like a freedom that people have. you
Yeah,
know?
and some
If
people
if
like
you
to
need
drive.
and also like if you I don't know if I need to get somewhere, do I need to like schedule it almost like a
Yeah.
you
Do
know?
I need to tell a
Yeah.
computer where I'm going all the time? It's
Right.
like sometimes I don't know where I'm going. Like,
Yeah.
what if you just
Or
want to
you
go
don't
out for
want, you
one of
don't know
the?
where you're going. It's
Yeah.
like now it's gonna be like on your account and
But like,
you know.
what if you? There's so many times when I've just wanted to like get into a car and
Just
drive,
go.
and just
Yeah.
like
Yeah, there's no more going
just
for a
like
drive.
take it easy,
Yeah.
and just go chill for I don't know 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Do I have to tell a car like, okay, here's where I'm going to be making turns the entire way? I don't know.
And,
it seems
the
weird.
idea of like going for a drive where you do it yourself, it's like I don't want to go be driven. I want to go for a drive. You
Right,
know?
exactly.
Sitting in the back seat
I want-
while
Imagine-
you
it's
drive.
Imagine like the
I would love
computer
to be
like
driven.
judging you.
Overall, I
Yeah.
get it.
You're,
It's
like,
good. Like no
explaining
drunk
it.
driving, and
Right.
you can
Yeah.
hang out. You know, you could do it an 11-hour road ride and just kind of hang out and have a good time. But the times you do want to just drive somewhere and you can't, it's gonna be like, well, wait a minute.
It's also funny to just be like, for a little bit of therapy, I need to just move my body around my town
Yes.
for a while. I just need to be in motion, not doing
yeah, I
anything.
don't know why it
I
works,
just need
but
to
it
move,
does.
and I just need to be in different places and see. It works. It absolutely does work.
Like
but-
when I drive in every day and I'm going down the West Side Highway and it's like blasting music. Sometimes it's like sun going down, sun going up, whatever. It's like it's
It's the
awesome,
It's
you
the
know?
isolation. It's like a cheap man's like zero. Like what are those chambers they put you in where there's
Zero
like
gravity.
like
Oh,
there's
the-
like nothing. in
Hyperbaric?
there. Yeah, it's like
or
that.
like sensory
Because,
deprivation.
Because like think
Yeah.
about it, when
Yeah.
you live in New York,
Yeah.
everywhere you go, you're like
People and
sentient of like other people's like you know what I mean. Like you get on the subway,
Sounds
you
and
have
noises
music, you
and-
have like music playing, but you're like, there's a guy over there. Like I got to get off
Mhm.
at this stop. Like you're always like kind of thinking about other people, which is
Mhm.
a good thing because it makes you, I think, like
connect
more
like humans. Yeah,
Yeah, I
That's
think
what
it
they say
makes
about
you-
New York versus LA is that like
Yeah.
you're bumping into people and you're standing next to them and you could be rich and you could be poor and you could be black and you
100%.
could be white. And in
Right.
LA it's like just your car and your
right.
bubble.
You're
and
just like in your Tesla and like your own world or whatever.
Mhm.
But like it's a give and take for sure.
Do
But
you think that they'll have to do a full switch, like all automatic cars?
I kind of do.
Like, I feel like
because
they
if-
can't have it.
If you
they
have
can't
someone on a
integrate them.
schedule, but one that might be erratic, like they can't.
Right, because then what if a
But
real
it's
person
already
driving a car
started.
gets in an accident with an automatic car that
Yeah, no,
seemingly
but you
is
can't.
automatically their fault?
already
It's
but
not like
what
they're
it
just
is-
gonna give self-driving cars to everyone at the
No,
same
I know,
time.
but-
No, but I think like eventually. I
Like,
feel
they'll
I
have
see
to-
they're-
videos
they'll have to
of
outlaw
Teslas doing it
eventually.
already.
I think it's going to
Yeah.
be. It has to be a slow transition. It can't be
Yeah.
just like immediate
Overnight.
because like people. I mean, people freak out like if you take away like one thing that they enjoy. If like
Right.
you tell
That's
your
so true.
neighborhood you can't paint in your door any color except for red right now, people be like,
Freaking
this is
out.
tyranny.
Yeah.
But
Let alone you can't drive anymore.
right,
You-
but
yeah.
you're not allowed to drive. We're going to take away. I mean,
I feel like that's like taking away like cars and guns.
Yeah.
Is like going to be on the same level.
I
a lot of
totally
people's
agree.
hobbies
I'm just
to-
wondering, like, what do you think, like,
It'll
I don't know,
be
I think that there'll be
slow.
issues.
It'll be slow.
It'll be like real cars
Yeah.
versus self-driving
for
for a
sure.
long time.
Like people like you. Do you know Ross Bolin? He has the Ross Bolin show. He's like a podcaster. He has like crazy anxiety with driving, and he stopped driving for years, and then he just recently got a Tesla that has so many features of self-driving and correcting and cameras and all that shit that he's like back on the road. And he's like loving it because he's windows down.
Is he
music
driving
blasting.
or is he self-driving?
Well, he's driving, but it's self-driving if he needs it to be, and I think like it helps. You know, you can't drift out of your lane, and if someone's gonna hit you, it alerts you, and all these things that used to give him anxiety, now he doesn't have to worry about, and he can drive again. So like shit like that I never thought of that like Tesla could help, and then
It's
eventually.
something I should probably get around to.
But it's also like not everybody can go
Yeah,
buy a
like
Tesla.
in a
so-
utopic
Yeah.
world, though, it would actually make like hypothetically like things way more efficient.
It would be
Yeah,
not,
that's why I
like,
think ultimately
Right,
these
like
things are
traffic
good, but it's
dying
like
car
you know,
accidents.
not,
It'd be like
okay, so
it'd be like
the-
Minority Report.
Yes, like the schedule is great. Everyone gets to and from the most efficient like system ever, but
then
also
we're
I want to
soulless,
just be
dude.
able
You're
to.
not fucking changing gears, listening to Young
Kinda.
Thug. You
It's
know
like
what
I
mean?
wanna, if I wanna take the long way home, if I wanna.
Right.
Sometimes you want to blast an embarrassing song that you don't want people to know that you're listening to at full volume.
Right.
And the only way to do that, like, in the world is in a car.
Yeah.
Especially
You
if you have
told
a family around you.
I
Yeah,
can't
forget
drive
it.
the speed limit in my Civic.
Yeah.
Like a
That's my
badass.
freedom, man.
There
That's
was
my life.
in the neighborhood that I was in back in Austin before I moved here. It was one of the pilot neighborhoods for the Google self-driving cars. So there were like 4 or 5 different neighborhoods that had this across the country, and they just had these self-driving cars with nobody in them, just cruising around our neighborhood at about 25 miles per hour.
Weird.
All the time.
And it has
you-
enough like
So
sensors
bizarre.
and cameras that it just knows like everything.
It had sensors on like every side. It had a big like yellow thing on top of it to let you know this is a self-driving car.
Yeah.
But my dream was to be out on a run and to get hit by one of those and to
Yeah.
like break an arm
Cash, baby,
Forget it.
from
cash.
Google.
Yeah.
Could you
And then
imagine?
the last thing Google would ever want would be like any news story to come
Oh,
out saying
the
a
settlement
self-driving
on
car
that.
hit a person.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I would
I'd
never
be
have to work
like,
again.
I'll give you, you give me $1 billion and I'll only tell the New York Times.
Where'd you
Yeah.
go?
Give me
Where'd you
$2
go?
billion and
Where'd
I'll
you
be
go
quiet.
If you had that money.
If I had
Where'd you
$1
go?
billion, honestly, I'd probably just come to work the next day. Like, to be honest with you, I'd probably just come in right now.
It's about just the chess game. You're like, gotcha.
I would just like to
Yeah.
know that I'd probably give away
Well,
a lot of
you
money
know
because
what?
like I'm definitely of the mindset that if you have over $100 million, like everything above that, like there's no possible way I could ever spend that money in my lifetime.
Yeah.
You know what would be nice is I would come right into work the next day too. But like anything, when you do something that you don't have to do, it would become fun
Oh, yeah.
again.
It's so fun.
It's like
yeah.
I want to do my podcast today. If I don't want to, I don't have to. If
Yeah,
I don't want to
it's-
do
it's
anything,
fun.
I can just I can get fired right now, but I don't have to. Then it's like
Oh yeah,
it's fun.
I love my job, so I would probably just still come in and do it because that's what I would do even if I were like beyond
You do
wealthy.
get to wear Jankos,
So-
which is tight.
Yeah, I would get a ridiculous wardrobe. I promise you that. I have the
Yeah.
sickest jumpsuits ever. But
The Mega Million's up to 500 million right now.
Oh yeah.
Got to get
I
I've
won
never
the
done a
scratchy lottery
scratch
the
off.
other day.
Well, that's not a
$50.
scratch off. It's the numbers.
Oh.
The numbers.
500 million.
I
If
always-
you get 500 million on a scratch off.
I've always
No,
thought
no.
that statistically speaking, I know this is wrong. If I play the lottery every day, I'll win it eventually.
that's true.
I mean, it literally statistically is not
I
that.
I actually
but
heard
okay.
from
Okay.
the lottery
Yeah.
department themselves that that's true.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Tommy, don't
I
let
feel
the
like
haters.
I
Yeah.
just feel like it probably would happen.
Yeah, it will.
Like,
Don't let
My
the Nate
thing is
Silvers
that
out there.
manifesting
until
it.
I
Yeah.
plan
Nate
on,
Silver was wrong about the election.
I'm gonna go get addicted to meth,
Right.
become destitute, lose my teeth,
Yeah, MAGA
then win the
Smelly.
lottery. Because that's just how it always
Tommy
seems to go.
sedition. Over
Frank the
there.
Tank would bake it.
Tommy insurrection.
I just got back from DC.
Could you imagine if Tommy stormed the Capitol and got in there and was
Oh,
just like,
that'd be such an all-time visual.
okay, guys.
Yeah.
in the Capitol?
He starts making.
Dude, imagine if you made a Tommy's thoughts
Tommy's
in
hand.
the Senate chamber. Oh
That
my
would
god.
talk about views.
Talk about numbers.
Wow.
Did you see the one video of the guy who was a lawyer in a MAGA hat? And like I'm sure he got fired now because everyone's like, this is like Randy Johnson from like so-and-so law firm. But he's just like, listen, we're here like in the Capitol. And he's like, we just want to see the votes. And if it turns out like Biden won, okay, we'll go home. But until then, we're here. And I'm like, if you're already kind of like resigned to the fact that you could just go home if it
Yeah.
was true, then why the fuck are you storming a government building?
I just
Like I
don't-
figured everyone there was radicalized, but this guy just being like, I just want to see it, and if it's the case, if they did win, okay.
So I
Like
just did
you're
it for the
ruining your
rush,
life for
personally.
this, man.
See it, believe it.
So I just did it for the rush, personally.
Yeah.
But-
I mean, I was saying like the drive home, the post-coup rush that you must get,
Yeah.
leaving the National Mall and like driving back to your house.
was fucking
You have
crazy.
to be like, you talk about an amplified time, like you're blasting Imagine Dragons on the way back across the Key Bridge, and you're just like, your buddy's like standing up out of the sunroof like screaming.
yeah.
You
I
feel
remember
like
saying-
you've taken over. That's got to be
I thought
better
that-
than any drug.
Imagine
out
the
there.
I thought the
awkward
same
small
thing.
talk in an Uber when it's very clear you're coming from storming the Capitol.
Boy,
So,
that
you guys
that
are
was.
around here. You're busy
You
for,
guys have a
for
good
day.
Wednesday?
That's
I've always
funny.
said like coming back from like a bachelor weekend. I always like the drive. Well, I guess depending on how bad your road trip is, but like the drive home where you're like recapping like all the stories and shit. The drive home from Insurrection has got to be
Ooh.
It's gotta
pretty
be
tight.
great.
And there's
Yeah.
actually probably like similar conversations where somebody's like, just so you know, like we're not going to discuss this
What
with
happened?
people
What
once
happened
we
Yeah,
get
we're
home.
not
stays there?
I think we can all agree that like some
Yeah.
things that we did, like
Yeah.
it was
Went a little
fun, it's
far.
in the moment, like I'm glad we did, but we don't need to talk about it to certain people.
Were you there, dude?
Yeah, it's like this is the conversation we had with this friend.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That, I mean.
What do you think like the next day is like? That's what I always think.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
yeah,
that's
when you're
usually
driving home, it's all that, and then the
fear,
next day
fear.
you're not, you like maybe you don't get fired or
That's
you
when
don't get
people
arrested.
leave all the social media posts and be like, okay,
Yeah.
I've got enough clout off this, and now it's actually becoming real. So
Right.
Do you
So now I
get
should-
clout from coups?
they definitely got some
Probably.
cool clout.
From
Yeah,
coups.
A
yeah.
little
They
clout.
got. There was probably a lot of coup
amongst
jealousy too.
certain
Yeah.
like groups, yeah, you probably fucking. You could become like a
Dude,
star.
imagine when those guys are like 80, because like granted, like when they
I
probably
mean, a lot of them
Were
are
80.
80.
Yeah.
well, like the younger ones, by the time they're 80, they're not going to be. It probably isn't going to matter anymore. They're going to be like sitting at a bar, and they're going to like someone's going to have like a crazy hypothetical, and so they're going to be sitting there and be like, "Yeah, I did a coup.
Right.
I was there."
See, that is. I think that's kind of cool to have that on your resume. Not like when I saw those people, like you
Dude,
guys are fucking
the guy-
losers.
the
but
guy
to be
that was
like,
in the
I was
Senate-
part of a coup. It's
Like
Eight-
an
eight
icebreaker,
years
two
from now.
truths and a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
8 years from
Yeah.
now,
I stormed the
being
US
able to have
Capitol.
cool on your resume.
yeah, exactly.
It's like
I've been to Jamaica.
That's a rare thing. Yeah, exactly. You're checking it off. People are gonna be driving around in RVs instead of having like the states filled in that they've been to. It's like these are the governments that I've tried to topple.
Dude, I was jealous
Yeah.
of the guy, like the photo of the guy that like was on the podium like this.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, that guy is. That's
great photo.
That's a top 10.
He's
like,
uploading that to
moment.
fucking
And he's
Tinder
not working
right
at
now.
fucking
Imagine
Goldman
that-
Sachs. Like,
imagine
it's not
that
like he's in
feeling.
danger of
No.
losing a top job. Like,
Oh yeah, it's like you're
Oh,
gonna get
yeah.
fired from the gas station, or whatever, bro.
It's a rush for sure, but it's also like attempted in some cases like attempted murder.
yeah.
And
Also,
so-
you might die.
Yeah.
Apparently, you could die doing
It
it.
is.
so.
It is easy to fantasize about it because it's like.
It's like anything else. You like the
It did-
idea of it. You don't.
It
You
was-
don't like.
I
think
feel
Yeah.
able to talk
Yeah.
about it this way because like we weren't there and we weren't like seeing people like storming with zip ties, getting ready to like handcuff the vice president, lead him to a
Yeah.
gallows outside.
No, you're right.
But you're right. You're right in the aspect of like just from a purely aesthetical aspect. Like the dude wearing the fur helmet with the horns,
Yeah.
standing behind the speaker's chair or whatever, taking a selfie. It's
Awesome.
like, this is so absurd that I can't help but like think, wow, that's a
feeling.
All just from a strictly aesthetic aspect.
We're gonna get
I
in so
agree.
much trouble
That's a
for
fun
this.
visual.
Now I'm like
This whole
rewinding
conversation
it.
No, I
was
don't-
very treasonous.
I already disavowed treason. I disavowed treason
good.
last
We're just
night.
Good.
romanticizing it.
Can I piggyback on you on
Romanticizing
that?
the coup.
Absolutely.
I would also
and to
disavow
be-
treason.
Friday Night Pints,
And
as
to-
well as part of my take, anti-treason.
And thank you. And to be clear, we do disavow treason.
Yes.
Yes.
Right?
Strong
But-
disavow,
but-
I'd say.
But some pictures are just cool.
Yes.
That's a fact.
I think people,
That is a fact.
level heads can agree with that.
Level heads can.
Agreed.
Did you see the one of the Capitol building
Cool
with like
picture's good.
it looked like it was on fire and there were flags all
Yes,
over
but it's
it?
just
and
the
it
light of
crazy.
the Capitol building.
It was so fucking
It was.
cool.
It
See?
looked crazy.
Sometimes
It looked like
pictures
a
are
movie.
cool.
I kept thinking
Yeah.
this is still from a movie. I'm like, again with the stills from like Independence Day, and not quite.
If you, Kelly, if you logged on to any number of dating applications and saw a picture of a dude shirtless behind like the speaker's chair, like
Oh, she's fine.
mugging for the camera.
Yeah.
Are you intrigued or are you? What's your initial
I'm-
like
I'll see
reaction
that and be
to it?
like,
It's an
oh,
icebreaker.
interesting.
Yeah,
I will
it's
say,
different than
interesting.
every guy with a
It'll make
fucking
me click
fish.
through. It'll make me click through and see what's
Yeah.
up. And then if it started getting a little weird, like, by the way,
It would.
So you
like
heard
I
that?
need to,
Yeah.
yeah,
If you
like I will impregnate you,
If you
and like
charge
that's the thing, then
the
then I don't know.
Capital, Kelly will fuck you. That's what I
No,
heard.
no, no.
That's what I heard.
No,
That's
I
what I
will
heard.
think about fucking you.
Okay.
I won't actually
So
think about it. Don't put
we
words
have
in my mouth.
disavowed
process.
treason, but
We have
Kelly will fuck you.
We
Think
disavowed,
about
but
it. I
cool
will think
things.
about it.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna wrap it.
Much time you now owe us in the form of clicking the subscribe button
That's internet currency.
and hitting the bell icon.
Yes.
I don't even know what the bell icon is, but they tell me
I
to say
think it
that.
sets a reminder for you. And also leave comments for what your favorite voicemail was, all kinds of that fun stuff. But you owe it to us to do it. Law. Internet law.
Internet law.